Hi, so today we're going to be building a system that can turn a single click into thousands of ads, high quality ad creatives. And we're going to do it based off of your best performing ads or ads that you think are inspirational, that you like, and you think that your brand would do well with your own custom version of those ads. So we'll do it with N8N and Google's new NanoBanana 3 Pro, which is a really great image generation model. So I'll show you what the system looks like right now. And this is the system. I'll run it for you so you can see how it goes. But basically, it'll come in here and get this, which is a simple Tesla ad. It's just a basic Tesla ad. And I'll open the chat here. And for example, I'll paste in this. I want light blue, purple gradient tones with pastel accent colors, modern Greek style with a touch of playfulness. Sans serif will be the font. The company name is Vibe. Add the logo plus a cute sparkle magic wand icon in the bottom right corner. The call to action is going to be this. The tagline is this. And I'm going to say generate 2 samples per image. Now, we only have one image in this right now, which is like our inspiration place where you'd put your best performing ads would go here. The ads you think are good will go here. We only have that one in there for now, just a demonstration. So I'll send this off and it's gonna go ahead and run the agent. Now the second agent it's running is this. So this is the other agent, which is gonna take in that query. It's gonna go to Google Drive, get the inspiration, download the inspiration. It's going to have an analysis done on the image. So it's going to look at the image and figure out what exactly everything is in the image. Obviously, in our case, it will be analyzing the Tesla image. It's then going to take what we sent it to be the changes we wanted to make. And the changes we wanted to make were exactly what we described in the chat over there. So that's going to be the changes it's going to make. And all of that is going to end up here. It's going to go and enter the destination drive folder, which is where it's going to paste the creatives that we mentioned. Now, we only asked for two. We asked for 2 variations right here. We said we want 2 samples per image. So that's going to give us 2 samples of the Tesla ad, but specifically for my business, which we mentioned here. The company is called Vibe and all of that. Okay, so we let this run. Let it go ahead and manipulate this image into some kind of format that would look good for my business based on the information that I gave it. And you can easily say you want 10 or 100 or 1,000 ads without there being a problem. The system will just keep on doing it until it reaches the limit that you mentioned. Alright, as you can see, we just got a notification. It just faded away right now, which was I've processed your image prompt and will generate 2 samples per image as you requested. If you need any adjustments or additional things, let me know. So if I enter the destination folder, you can see, all right, this is still running, and this is the back end. I'll show you in a second. Here we have it. Okay, so let's bring this into the editor right there. Okay, so forget about all this for a second. We're gonna build it live together, step by step. But if I go and look in this destination folder and I reload it, we don't have anything in there. Which is funny because it should have uploaded 2 things here. Into the destination folder. Yeah, destination folder. Okay, that might just be a tiny bug, which I want to fix real quick. Okay, I had just misspelled my email address over there. But anyways, so I'll just go ahead and pin this all just so you can see. All right, let's execute this again. And it's sent to now my email. Okay, so I'm gonna open my email. All right, so I'm in my email. I'm gonna go to draft. Here we have it. Your design creative is ready, and we've been given the link. All right, cool. So if I go ahead and I open this link, you can see. Oh my. Here are a bunch of them. So if we look at this, generate 1,000 ads today, 1 winning ad, infinite variations, Vibe. All right, very nice. And we look at this one, generate 1,000 ads today, 1 winning ad, infinite variations, Vibe. That's just because the prompts that we gave it are like that, and this is the inspiration that it used, which is like clearly look at the inspo. it's done the matching perfectly. So we're gonna be building this entire system today. Okay, so like I mentioned, this is the back end of everything. So that's pretty much what the back end looks like, and this agent looks like. So we're gonna build it out together from scratch completely, and after that, you guys will be able to put in as many ads as you want. So I'll just give you another example, right? If I go ahead and I take this Nike ad here, which is a very nice advertisement. I just have a whole portfolio of these, and I'm gonna just grab it as a screenshot just to save time. Put it there, let it upload, and now I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna paste in the same exact prompt, and I'm gonna still go with 2 samples per image. Okay, this is gonna be different. Now we're gonna get a lot more samples. So I'm just gonna rename this to Nike ads. So now we have, this is inspiration and this is inspiration. And we know these are high converting, well performing ads, right? Because they are by very big companies. So I'll go here, open the chat. I'm going to paste in this again, and it's going to redo it. I'll send this off. All right. And as you can see, it has now called this agent right here. So if we go to executions, you can see it's running. So I'm going to pause it. When it's done, we'll open the drafts folder in my email, and they should all be there as a draft. And they'll all be here in the destination folder. Okay, so as you can see, this one just ran 1652, and now we're going to look at the actual output of it. So here we have it. If I go to my drafts here and I just reload my drafts, here we have it. We got this. Hello, this is a friendly update that your creative is ready. Just click this link. The link is there. Whatever, it's the same link as this. So here are all the new creatives that the agent just made. It just made a bunch of new creatives. So we have this one, Monday, Tuesday, one winning ad, infinite variations. So you can clearly see this is obviously based off the Nike one. Some days on a day of the week, generate 1,000 ads today. Okay, so you can see that it's is staying very close to a template that we know has won, right? Because these are big companies that have probably done a lot of time and money into figuring out which ads work. So this is always going to be dependent on how well you can write what you want to change about the ads. And also, these are very weird and random advertisements, right? So you can get a bunch of any kind of your best performing ads. Like we could pick this one, for example. We could pick literally any of these ones, or put your own good performing ones in there and have it based it off that. Okay. Anyways, let's build the system together completely from scratch. Okay, so I'm going to start fresh in N8N, and I'm going to go to create new workflow, just like this. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a chat trigger. So we're going to have on chat message. We're going to have this, and we're going to connect this to an agent. So just write agent, okay, AI agent right there. This is fine. And we're going to use the OpenAI chat model. Okay, now you're gonna see I have accounts here, but the way you are gonna do this is through setting up the credentials. Now I'll show you how to set up credentials. If you go back to your overview, so if I go to overview here and you go to credentials, if you don't have a credential, you're gonna press create credential, and you're gonna look for OpenAI, this one here, press continue. And it's going to ask you for an API key, and you don't need to really put the organization ID, but you need to put an API key. So how do you get an API key? Well, you're going to have to put credits into OpenAI. So I'll show you how to do that now. Okay, so you're going to go to billing. You're going to go to OpenAI billing. Okay, click on this. So that's going to take you here. As you can see, it's signing me into my account. You just have to sign up if you don't have an account. All right, so you just sign up if you don't have an account, and you'll be good to go after that. Okay. And as you can see, I have this balance amount. So you're going to go to add credit balance, put in the amount that you want to add, and add it up. All right, so you're going to need some. And then you're going to go to API keys. You can put $5 minimum, by the way, into that thing. Press create new secret key. It's going to give you a thing. You just name it here and press create secret key. So I'll just write here 1000 ads agent. Select the default project and create secret key. And you're going to make sure you copy that, and you're going to go back to the credentials page here, paste it in, and I'm going to name this to 1000 ads agent and press save. Okay, now you have that perfectly working. So you can close this. When you open your OpenAI chat model, you're going to see that there is going to be a new credential, or you're going to have your original one, whichever one it was. So I'm going to use my original one, which is this one. Okay, and now we're going to need to do two things here. One, we're going to need to add in we want to talk about the sampling temperature and have it at 0.7. This just basically means how creative or how outside of your instructions the model is going to go. Now, since we're doing advertisement, it's okay for us to think about it and let it be more creative. But 0.7 is still very low. It will follow exactly what we say. And then we're going to put in the system message, which is going to be in the description. You can find it below. So I'm going to paste it in, and just so you can look at it, this is the whole thing. You're a helpful, intelligent graphic design assistant. You have these access to these tools. We're gonna have to now add this image spinner tool into it. But basically, that's the main agent and the large language model that it's going to run on. Okay, let's go to tools. We're gonna call an N8N workflow tool. Okay, now we don't actually have that workflow yet. So we now need to set up that new workflow so that this thing has something to call. Because right now it cannot call anything. Okay, so you're going to go to this here. I'm going to go to click plus, and I'm going to go to workflow, and I'm going to say in personal, and I'm going to open it in a new tab. This is going to open a new workflow for us. All right, so since this is going to be triggered by this, we're going to set the trigger here as executed by another workflow. So that's what we're going to have here is when executed by another workflow. And we're going to connect this to a Google Drive node. We're going to search files and folders. Okay, this is, again here, if you create a new credential, all you got to do is sign in with Google. So I already have done that, so we're going to use that one. We're going to put 50 as the limit. Okay. Now here, if you think about it, what exactly are we going to pass? What are we passing to this? If here we've said that it's going to get an image spinner tool, and it can pass number of samples to this tool, then that means that we need this tool to be able to receive the number of samples and the image prompt. So we need to prime this for that. How do we do that? I'm gonna define using fields below, and we said it's gonna get what? It's gonna get image prompt, which is gonna be a string, and it's gonna get number of samples, okay, which is also gonna be a string. So this way, whenever this agent calls this, it calls this tool, which, like, since we're here, let's rename that tool so it can find it. This is called the image spinner. Okay. So I'm gonna rename this. All you do is click on it, press spacebar, and then you can rename it the image spinner, so it knows it's gonna pass these two pieces of data to it. Okay. And what it's gonna do? It's gonna connect to my Google Drive. It's going to download the files that are in the drive. Now we want to check a specific folder. Now I have a folder called source folder. It's called one source folder. Now if I execute that step, we're gonna get exactly the two items right? The Nike ad and the Tesla ad, which are in my inspiration folder. So here's where you want to put your inspiration, into a Google Drive folder. Okay, and once that folder is there and you've connected to that Gmail account, you're gonna be able to access it over here. All right, so now you have this. Well, the next thing we want to do is we need to download those. So we're gonna go here, Drive, and download file. File, download from list. We're gonna go ahead and find the file by the ID because we get the ID from here. Right, just drag it and drop it right there. Now if I execute this step, we have two things. We have the Tesla ad, this is the Nike ad, and we have the Tesla ad. So we've been able to download the things that we need. So what we're going to do now is we need to connect this to a large language model so that when we give it a prompt, right? When we give it a prompt, like in the other workflow, we gave it the prompt here. It needs to be to the images which it downloaded here. So to do that, we're going to use NanoBanana by Gemini. So I'm going to go Gemini here, and you're going to go to Analyze Image. Yeah, okay. So that was the wrong workflow. Go to Google Gemini and go to Analyze an Image. And I mean, you can really have the text be anything. It's not that. What we had here was keep it extremely comprehensive and leave nothing out. That was the prompt that we had written in there. So you can again just, you can have that as the prompt. We could also add in something like, what is it? Image describe extremely comprehensively, leave nothing out. Actually, we'll leave it like this. We could go ahead and talk about how it's going to be used for advertisement later, but that we can put into the next step. Okay, now Gemini credentials. We've gone over them many times in the past. You basically just need to go to cloud.console.google and you just make a project, find the API, enable the API. Now, there's going to be a document in the description. It's a Google Doc. It's going to tell you exactly step by step how you go about setting up the Gemini credentials. Okay? So I'm going to pick this credential here. We're going to pick, we could really pick quite a few, but we're going to just go with Pro Preview. Okay? And you can also do this to save money on the tokens, but personally I wouldn't do that because I want to keep the analysis as deep as possible. So this is going to take a second. So I'm going to execute this step and it's going to start doing the image analysis. Now we'll let that run in the meantime. Press the plus here and go to OpenAI and go to message a model. Now here all the prompts again are going to be in the description. Right, all the prompts are going to be in the description, so don't worry about that. We're going to pick GPT-5. All right, we'll go with GPT-5. We'll say the system prompt is, you are a helpful, intelligent prompt writing assistant. You help me rewrite prompts. Okay. Now, you can grab these all from the description, and in the order that they're in, they're also in that order in the document. So you can take them just like that. So let's go ahead and do this one. I have generated an image description. I want you to take that and then give me the simple change request prompt. I can tell the AI image generator, return your output in the following JSON format, variants. Your task is to generate new change suggestions, and we have called the variable when executed by another variable because that's where the change requests are, right? This is going to pass change requests here. We need this OpenAI to be able to see those change requests. Now we're gonna add another prompt, which is gonna be giving it a sample output so it knows what its output should look like. So I'm gonna just go ahead and make this fixed. But this is just for you to be able to see. So I'll go to expression here, I'll paste it in. Original description, the image features, whatever. This is just for it to understand the format of everything, how it's gonna go. So we'll add another one. Now we'll do one about how it should organize the prompt and the number of sample outputs and the variations, right? We want to tell the model how to handle that. Okay, so here we're gonna paste in this variance, make the background bright, whatever. As you can see, it's commas and it's got the curly braces and it's got the object, the Java's. It's in JSON. Okay, so it's in JSON, so that the model can understand what a JSON output will look like. And the last thing we want to go ahead and add in is simply giving it access to the things that it's gonna need. So we're going to add message, and here we're going to give it access to a couple of things. One is the JSON content parts.txt. Okay, that's just the original image description, which is what the current node is working on. Then we have the change request, which came to us via the this node here, right? This is the node here. This analysis is really taking very long, this analysis. And I suppose you could switch to 2.5 flash to make it better. You could switch to 2.5 flash and that would be much quicker. Anywho, so we've given it access also to the certain other things that it needed. And now lastly we're going to do is the outputting the content as JSON. So you look for output format, and we want it to output as JSON. Actually, let me switch to my OpenAI account. We want it to be in JSON, so we can give it a schema to work with, and I'll show you how you do that. Is we're gonna write a JSON schema. Okay. Anyway, so here we're gonna write a JSON schema. Now, if you know how to write it, we can write it. We have to go here, and you can see properties. We have message is one of them. Where we would obviously change that, because what we want it to be outputting is not messages. We have variants, right? So if you look at this thing here, where is it? This one here. You can see I want you to take that image description, return your output in the following JSON format, variants, and we needed to output two things, which is variance 0 and variance 1. That's not true, so we'll cut that out. In fact, let's just go back to when we were here. Okay, so basically we know we needed to output variance, right? So if we go to the schema, we're gonna write here variance, and we're gonna write here variance, okay? Now this is done. As you can see, we have two items. We have got an image description of what is in the image. And so now if I execute this, one, we should be seeing a lot of green when it comes to this image description. Yeah. And two, the model should be able to output structured JSON because we wrote a schema for it to follow. The question is, will it follow the schema? I don't know. We would be better off attaching an actual output parser, but this should probably work just fine. If you want this to be quicker, I honestly think we should use Gemini 2.5 Flash, which is, gonna be a serious improvement in terms of speed. Okay. Anyways, this is gonna run, and we're gonna get this. We didn't really tell it anything, so this is not gonna go well. This is not going to go well. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pin this here. I'm gonna cancel this. Okay. Go ahead, and I'm gonna edit this just for you guys to see. And so for the image prompt, I'm gonna just write the same prompt I wrote here. Okay, and the number of samples is just gonna be 2. Okay, just for it to be like, let's save that. All right, so this is not real. This is just I've pinned it there just so that it can pretty much work through this entire thing. And now I'm gonna execute this. It's just gonna run through everything, and here we are. Okay, now it's received everything that it needs, right? So if I go here, it's got the original description of the images, and it's got the change request that we've made. Okay? Now having those two things means it can actually understand what needs to be done. Okay, so we'll let that run on the side. Okay, in the meantime, let's add the next node, which is gonna be a simple split node. And I suppose we can't really do anything until this finishes, because we need to see if the JSON is correct. All right, so it did not actually do it correctly, because if you realize here, we said we want 2 samples, and it's 2 samples per image, which means it shouldn't have generated 2 variants. I mean, it shouldn't give us 2 items of 1 variant. We should have received 2 items of 2 variants. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna copy this here. Okay, I'm gonna copy this expression, this system prompt. I'm gonna go to Claude. I'm gonna say, generate me a schema for this system prompt. And I'm gonna paste that in. I okay. Yeah, no, it does not need to be that complicated. So I'm gonna say that it needs to match the basic OpenAI formats. Come here. I'll say it needs to match the basic OpenAI format. Put that there. Here's the schema in the basic OpenAI format. Okay, so copy this. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna paste it in here. Obviously, the array is what the change was. And now I've switched to 4.1 because 5 was just taking really long. So I want to run this and see again if it works, because that output was not correct, right? We should have been getting, there we go. Perfect. Look, variants 1 and 2, variants 1 and 2. Awesome. So you can always just use Claude when it comes to writing schemas. So far, I've not had any issue with it. Okay, here what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the variance field, execute this step, just drag this variance into here, and we get 4 variants. Perfect. So you can see it's coming together very well. If we look at this one, we only have the looping left to do, which isn't really that complicated, because we're gonna do a lot of what we did in the first one, just kind of doing it again, for the second one. Okay, so we're gonna connect this to a loop node. Let's just save this here. We're gonna connect this to a loop. Okay. Now, the way loops work is we have 2 different things that are gonna have to happen. We're gonna have when it's done looping and while it's looping. So when it's done looping, meaning it's finished for all the images what it was supposed to do, we're gonna go to Gmail, and we're gonna do send a message. I'm gonna just do a send message. All right. And I'm gonna send it to myself. Okay. And don't worry about the subject will just be add creatives ready. Hello. View your ads here. And here we'll just go ahead and put the the link, which isn't gonna work right now, obviously. Okay, so that's the done part. Now for the looping part, what we're gonna have to do is we want to take this variant and apply it to the image, right? So we're going to use an image generation tool to do that. So first, we're going to go to Drive. We're going to get a Google Drive node here. And what this is going to do is, sorry, this is the wrong one. Download by ID. Huh. Okay. So I'm gonna just pin this output, and I'm gonna pin this output. Okay. So here we're gonna go to Drive, Google Drive, and do download a file. Which file are we downloading? We're downloading the files that we found earlier. And the reason for that is that we can feed this image. Actually, no, I just realized something. This got the original image description already. And we've already done an image analysis here, which means we actually don't need to download the images again. So we can get rid of that. And we can go straight to a Gemini generate image. Look for generate image model. Again, just paste in the one that's in the supporting documents down in the description. The original image description is gonna be from this analyze image. All right, so this text here. That's the original image. Perfect. And here is your prompt. Okay, the prompt, if I just hold on, if I just remove this for a second and I run this, this loop, you're gonna see we get an output, which is the variant text that we're talking about. So I'll bring that image generation back in here, open it, and you can see that this is supposed to be from the loop over portion. Now here you don't want to skimp out on anything, so we're gonna go with the NanoBanana one. And now this is gonna generate the images that we need. Once the images have been generated in the variations that we wanted, all we're gonna do is go to a drive. We're gonna go to upload file. The good thing with using this node here is it already comes out as a file, right? It outputs a file. We don't have to do any file conversion. Okay, and the file name, we're gonna go with this, and I'm gonna put variant. Okay, so that's gonna be how it's gonna whatever, and I'm gonna now pick the destination folder. Which one is this? Yeah, we'll go with that one. Okay. And that's simply it. It's going to do exactly what this flow did, right? When I showed it to you. We're going to upload the file, and that's pretty much it. Now, we have a wait node, and the reason we have a wait node here is because, you know, sometimes API calls tend to be a little bit aggressive, and we will be warned that we're doing too many API calls as we end up generating multiple images. We don't want to, you know, get flagged for that. So we have a wait node in there. So now if I go ahead and I run this email flow, and actually the way we want to get the link is from the upload file. The upload file is going to output a link. Okay, part of the output, if you look at this output here, is gonna be a web view link, and that's exactly what we have in the send email. So if I go back here and I go to send this and I make it an expression, obviously the link is undefined, but I'll just paste this in here, and this is the drive that it's gonna go to. Now here's what I want you to notice. We want to go to the destination folder. So I'm going to open that folder. I'm going to copy everything after the last slash until the end. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go here and exactly from this slash until the question mark, remove all that and paste in this new thing. So this is going to be the new link to the new drive. Okay, so that's pretty much, that's going to be how that works. So what I'll do is I'll open my Gmail, I'll open my email here. Okay, I'm going to open my email here, and there isn't anything really happening right now. But the moment that I press, how long is this going to wait? 5 seconds. Okay. So now I'm going to press this run, and it's going to work its way through this entire image generation process thing. So while it does this, I suppose we could talk about what the ROI is of a system like this. So if you have this sort of a system, it means you can take any kind of ad creatives that you find interesting, that you think are, inspiring, that you think are good for your business, and you can simply prompt it to make 1,000 versions of this ad, right? You can prompt it to make, I don't know, however many you want, and you can specify what exactly it is that you want to change in each of them. That makes it really, really powerful and very, very useful. And I'm running out of things to say while we wait for this thing to finish. Well, it's two items in, which means it has two more to go. So that's 3 items, and now it should be on the last one. And now I'll show you how we will connect that whole thing right back to this front end agent, because we don't have to come in here and pin all this data and run the agent like node by node. That is of no good. We want just to be able to, from within this drive, this drive here, we want to be able to just drop in a file here, send a message, and end up with the proper things here. Okay, so it's done. Now, as you can see, if I go to my email, I've gotten emails about ad creatives that are ready. So there's 4 emails, all of which contain the link to the ad, whatever. So we can open it here in the Google Drive, or we can open it via the link. It's the same thing. They both go to the same Google Drive. So Nike ad variant, generate 1,000 ads. Another Nike ad variant, Tesla ad variant, generate 1,000 ads today. So obviously this is because of what the prompt was, right? Perfect. So we stick very close to good performing ads that we know perform very well. And like I said, these are random ads. Put your own ads in this so you can generate 1,000 different variations of them, and then all that your content or media or marketing team will do is go through this, like, there's a huge just plethora of images that you will have after this. So if I open, for example, this second destination folder here, these are some of the other ones that we've generated, right? Like, look at this. So let's put it like this. You can see we're getting variations of the same ad. So we take an ad. This I think was Spotify, a good ad by Spotify, and we get all of these. Look at this. Look at this. We get all of these variations of an advertisement, right? Simply by using an agent like this. So you can see, okay, look here, we have some ads that are in German. My point is, you can pretty much just take good performing ads and end up with variations for you to test. And then the ones that perform best, take those, put them in the folder, right? Look at these. Put them in the folder and just keep iterating, and eventually end up with your best performing ads, and you have thousands of the best performing ads. Okay, so that's the entire system here. Okay, That's how that entire thing works. The only thing we want to know now is that can it be triggered from this one? So this one, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna select my workflow 7, right, which is the one, but my workflow 7 must be published before using, right? Sorry. Okay, so here we have the workflow we did. I'm gonna rename it to image. I'm gonna call it ad spinner, and I'm gonna press publish. Right, we're gonna press publish and ignore this stuff about the errors. Right now, you don't need to do that if you're just building this for your own business. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna pick ad spinner. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna call the ad spinner. And now here's the other thing we want to do is we want to add memory. And the reason we add memory is because we want to be able to, if the agent asks us, if I don't mention how many ad creatives I want, it's supposed to ask me how many I want. Now when I reply back to it, it needs to remember the prompt that came before that. You see, so if I don't have memory here, and I go ahead and I paste in a prompt like this, and I don't mention how many samples per image I want, and I just send this off, it's gonna ask me, how many samples per image do you want for the design? And if I just say 3, it's gonna say, how many samples per image do you want? Why? Because it doesn't remember that this prompt came before the 3. So where we fix that is we add in the simple memory node. And the context node is, this is just a number of messages. So we'll just set it to 10 just for it to be able to understand that. Okay, now I save it. All right, and I go ahead and I write this here. And again, I'm not telling it how many sample images I want. Okay, now it's asking me. And just to save time, I'm really just gonna get rid of this one because I only, right? And if I say I just want one sample image, notice how it's not gonna ask me again now. Now it remembers one sample image. So you see, it's calling the image spinner agent. It's calling the image spinner agent. Oh, but there's an issue with this. It's not gonna work now. And the reason for that is because we forgot to turn on let the model define this parameter. It looks like there was an issue generating the image right now. Would you like me to try again? So I'm going to go here. I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to say, yes, please. And again, because we have memory, it knows exactly what it's going to try and do again. All right, now that we have that, I go to the ad spinner agent and I go to executions. We had an error here. That error was due to us not having turned on let the model define the parameters. But now that we've turned that on, it should be able to run through the entire thing without a problem. So in a second, we should get another email. This is the old one still. But we will get another email because I've only put one and we've used Gemini 2.5 Flash in the analyze an image, right? We're using 2.5 Flash, so this won't take nearly as long as that one. But while we wait, I'm just going to pause it. Oh, look at that. Okay. Here we have Ad Creatives ready. Open it up. And this is the most recent one. One winning ad, infinite variation. I don't know why there's a person there. But you can see that's the difference between us using 2.5 Flash as our image analysis model and using 3 Pro, right? With 3 Pro, they were very, very similar to what the initial ad was about. Okay, so yeah, that's what it looks like. Let's just go ahead and test out one more version of a prompt in with a different ad and let's see how that goes. Okay, so there you have it. Now, some ways I think you could improve the system is feel free to instead of having this sort of a chat here, what we can do is we can set up a Claude or GPT MCP to trigger directly, right? So we can set up a Cloud MCP to trigger the flow. That you don't have to come into N8N, you can just simply use ChatGPT or Claude and trigger the flow from there, and that would be a good improvement. But other than that, that's the video. I hope you like it. I hope you build it and use it and you manage to make